And I just thought I would sit outside in this wonderful weather in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm in Phoenix for just today, and then I'll fly to Vegas for the GoPro event. And so, it's always a great event. I know some of our leaders are already there, and some will be heading there. So please travel safely and make sure you have pen and paper. It's going to be great information. Okay. So, hi, everybody. It's Tiffany Malott here, and I'm excited to be on the Tuesday night webcast with you guys. It's been way too long, and I'm very happy to be here. I hope you guys can see me okay. I decided to do this outside because I'm in my backyard in Phoenix right now. I'm here for one day before I fly into Vegas tomorrow for the Recruiting Mastery GoPro event in Vegas. And so I'm really excited about that event. I know many of our leaders some are already there, many are going, and I want everyone to have pen and paper. It's going to be great notes and information. Don't just take notes on the information. Take notes on how it's delivered. Take notes on how people receive it. Take notes on everything, because becoming a great networker and becoming great in secret doesn't just come from what you put in your pad. Sometimes it also comes from what people don't say, but what they do or how they say it. All right. So, for those of you who are on your way, I can't wait to see you. I train on Saturday. So, Saturday morning. So, I hope you guys are in the room and give me some love. The other thing is, for those of you who aren't going, hey, get the live stream. It's great information, it's inexpensive, and you can make it an event right there in your home or with some other people on your team. So that would be great. Chip in, get a group of you together and take advantage of it. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about what we should be doing right now in October in our businesses in secret, because this is an amazing time for network marketing. The fall in the United States or North America, it's always a great time because it's after the summer. People are off of vacation. They've got to pay their bills from vacation. And the kids are back to school. So people are now getting serious about paying the bills from summer vacation and getting ready for Christmas. The other thing is that people are really, they're settled. They are into it. They know what they need to do. And it's just a time of harvest. So a lot of people get ready to receive during that time. And this is a great time for us in secret, because unlike other network marketing companies, we have a product or products that really do well during the holiday season. People love to receive secret for Christmas. We know this from the kiosk operation starting in 2005. Part of the reason the company has sold $1.4 billion in sales of these great products is because of the holiday season. They sell tons of this stuff, and it's such a great gift any time of the year, but especially Christmas. And we have a way to distribute amazingly with Christmas with the relationship marketing model, as by being a secret agent. And so, what everyone really needs to be focusing on is not saving up all your names in your list to sell for the holidays. But also you really need to be making your list of people to talk to now, so you have a bigger team and more people in the business, all right, when the holiday season comes on. This is where you actually build distribution points. I hope y'all can see me. Am I dark? It got dark faster than I thought it was going to. Okay, so that was me being ADD. But anyway, so this is actually a time for you to build distribution points. Now, this is where you go out and you start talking to people you've already talked to and tell them that you're expanding your business for the rest of the year, to people you haven't talked to people long distance, to people everywhere. This is when you want to make sure you do this. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think, well, people are distracted and they aren't ready, and this isn't the time. And I can just tell you this, that it really is a great time to build your secret business anytime. And you don't need anything special. All you need is secret, because secret is the best opportunity in America. It is special, it is amazing, and it is exactly what people need. And so I just want you guys to understand, and I guess I'm going to take this time to help you realize exactly what you have, why you're in the best place, and why now is the time. Now, if you've been in the business for just a couple of months, if you've been in the business a couple of years, or been in network marketing as long as I have for 15 years, I've been in secret for now over 4 years. sometimes it's easy to get a little down. Sometimes it's easy to think, oh, well, it's already happened. I'm out of people. I don't know anyone. I've talked to everybody. There is nobody else who wants to do secret. And that is just not true. And I can just tell you, I have had to deal with this myself recently in thinking that, we worked so hard and we've talked to everybody. And then I had to stop myself. I'm like, there's like 7 billion people in the world. There's like 30 million people in one city in the United States. There's 23 million people in Australia. There's tons of people, hundreds and hundreds of millions of people, maybe even a billion, I don't know, in North America. I have not talked to everybody. And then my little voice in my head goes, well, how are you going to find all those billion people? You don't know a billion people. And then I said, I don't need to know a billion people because 15 years ago, I didn't even have 150 names on my list. And those 150 names, those 100 names or so, led me to a six-figure income in 3 years. It took me off my job in 6 months. So I didn't need to know everybody. Hold on, I think it's getting dark sooner than I thought. So I did not really need to know everybody. Another thing that happened too that I had to make myself realize is that it's not about who I know, it's about who they know. And this is the best part about what we do. It's all about links to leaders, it's all about getting people to lead us to other people. And here's the thing, sometimes people will lead us to someone else, and sometimes they just won't. But we'll never find out who they know if we don't talk to them, if we don't go out. And then I said to myself, because I tried to get down, and I'm like, well, I mean, okay, so where am I going to find these new people? I'm not going to just go to the mall and track people down, and I don't have to. Because when I look at it, I when I looked at it and I stopped myself from getting into my blame and complain and woe is me mode, then I realized, oh my goodness, there are people who I just met who like me. People I just met that I didn't know a year ago, that I didn't know 6 months ago, that I didn't know 3 months ago. And they are interested in me. They're interested in what I do. And they ask questions and they're intrigued and they have skin and they want to know about secret. So I didn't even have to go look for strangers because every day, every week, every month, we meet new people. And this is what's so very important for everyone to understand. We are meeting new people every day. Unfortunately, because when we start building, we get so wrapped up on the same old names. Okay. And I did say it, the same old people who have already said no, who keep saying no, the same old people who said yes and then they said no, the same old people who keep saying yes, but their actions say no. We just keep going through the exact same people and we just act like these are the only people, these are the only people, and oh, if they don't do it, I guess I'm just not going to get be successful. And that's not true, because every day there's new people coming into our lives. All we have to do is pay attention, be open, and be attractive so they're interested in what we are doing. And so I just want to stop right now because I've had quite a few conversations. I've been talking to a lot of people. And I've been now talking to a lot of people in a few countries. And there are two groups that are going on. There's groups that are like, oh my goodness, people are joining Secret. I'm excited. This thing's going to the top. And then there's the other group that's like, nobody's interested. Well, if my upline didn't suck, well, if they introduce, yeah, sure, they introduced a hair straightener, but if they introduce a new curling iron or whatever, and these are the people who are making excuses. And so I want to talk to both groups. The reason why there are people out there who are saying, yeah, there are people who are ready and I'm excited and this thing is happening is because they found some new people. Now, I can already hear what you're thinking. You're probably saying, well, they were probably new and they had a fresh list. But here's what I know. I know that there are people who've been in secret now for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years, and they're excited and they're pumped. And some of them have been in network marketing for longer, but they've gotten pumped and they have momentum in their organizations. And how do they get momentum? Because they stopped looking at what they had and they looked at what they had in front of them, what they could do. They stopped looking at this in front of them and they looked ahead and said, that's what I'm going to have. And because of that, they went out of their comfort zone, of their immediate little circle, circle, or they finally spoke to someone they'd always been afraid of speaking to, or they finally just stopped being in management mode and got their butts in gear and went out and actually talked to some new people and got into phase one. But whatever it is they did, in their phase one activity, they got new people, and all of a sudden, they got a renewed energy, new life, and new purpose in their business. And all of that brought new success. I can tell you, if you're not feeling great about Secret, it's not because Secret's not great. And it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's just that we have got to get back into the activity that gets us excited. And you know what gets us excited as secret agents? Putting mud on new people, getting new people started, creating new success stories. That's what gets us excited. But the only way we can get to those new stories is to get out of our comfort zone and get to some new people. And so that's what I want to talk to everybody about, is getting in phase one. And I started this whole webcast talking about this is the time to do it. And it is. It is the time to do it, because this is when people are open. This is what, well, people are always open and ready because their life changes. But this fall time in North America is a time that in 15 years, this has always been a great harvest and planting season for me. This was a sowing season. This was a reaping season for me. All of my efforts from the summer started paying off, and then all of my efforts paid off into the winter season. So because our business is cyclical, because we go through seasons in business just like we go through seasons in life, you have to understand what season you're in right now. And let's just say you're in harvest. There are people right now in harvest. Their business is up. They've got momentum. They are making money more than they've ever made before. And life is absolutely amazing. And then there's some people who feel like they're in winter right now. Well, let me just tell you something. We all go through winter, but the best part about any winter season in your business, especially your secret business, is you can change your winter season just like that. You can change it with your attitude, and you can change it with your activity. You can change it with, hey, I don't know everybody. My team's not big enough yet. There are more lives out here that I have to change, and I'm going to find those people. I'm going to bless those people. I'm going to, regardless of how they respond to me, I'm going to put some mud on these people and let them decide for themselves. That's an attitude adjustment. That is us actually changing and shifting our focus. That's us changing our state about our business. Now, for those of you who have ever followed Tony Robbins, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But I just, for the first time, a few weeks ago, went to Unleashing the Power Within, a Tony Robbins event. And they talked about changing your state. Now, I have been in relationship marketing for 15 years, and I'm pretty personally developed. But I did not realize that I was still holding back my potential because I felt like circumstances, certain things, created my state. I didn't realize that I could create my own state and change my own state. And so, for those of you who feel like it's just not happening for you, maybe this isn't going to be it. For those of you who feel like, you know what? I mean, that's great for other people. I'm not a professional networker. I've never made a lot of money, or I don't know anyone, or, my family's not supportive, or I'm not a good speaker, or, and basically, you got all these excuses. We can change your state. You can change your state. Now, you guys have heard me talk about the focus on the things you can't control. We cannot control our results. The only way we can control our results is to focus on, is control our attitude and our activity. You want great results? Do more attitude, do more activity with the right attitude. If you don't want good results, just sit there and do nothing with a bad attitude. That's basically how we can control our results. But as far as this person's going to sign up, I know this person's in, I know this person won't do anything, we have no control over that, because then we could control human nature. And boy, we would be in a whole new business if we could do that. So basically, what I want everyone to understand is we can focus on what we can control, our attitude and our activity. Tony Robbins puts it as change your state. So if you feel crappy, if you're feeling down right now about your business, you can change your state. And you change your state by focusing on the three things. You change your state by your language, you change your language, you change your focus, and you change your physiology. So you change your language. Stop saying it's not happening. Stop saying this isn't for me. Stop saying, oh, they're networkers, it'll never happen for me. Stop saying my upline sucks. Stop saying that if the company did this. Stop saying, well, if I had more experience. Stop saying it. The first thing we've got to change our state is our language. So right now, we are going on a negativity fast. Okay, we're supposed to already be on it. If you guys were there, you're on a negativity fast. We're going on a negativity fast and a positivity feast. And basically, that means you don't let negativity not just come out of your mouth, but you don't let it come into your head. So when that little enemy on your shoulder says, don't feel bad. A lot of people fail. Oh, well, the reason why they're having momentum is because they've been in network marketing for 20 years, or, they just know people that you just don't know. When that little enemy on your shoulder starts whispering that stuff in your ear, flick them off and basically just tell them no. And you change your language and you just say, hey, that's great. And I'm happy for that person who's having momentum. I'm happy for those people who rank advanced, because if it can happen for them, I know it can happen for me, because what God is doing for someone else, I know he will do for me. So the first thing you're going to change is your language. You are going to speak victory. And a lot of people may be thinking, well, that's not it. I got to do that. That's the first thing, because if you are speaking negatively, but expecting positivity, you can't speak negativity and expect positivity. Just don't go together. So you've got to speak what you want. You've got to speak what you expect, and you've got to expect success. And now is the time to do it. Now is the time to do it. Look, this is the fourth quarter. This is the fourth quarter. This is how you decide what 2015 looks like. All right. And if you had a pretty bad first or second quarter, that's okay. We have all had this. All right. All of us go through it. I go through it. Everybody goes through it. But if you want to take 2015 and do something with it, you still have time to do it. You've got the rest of October, November, and December. And trust me, it's not too late. Don't start planning 2016. You live the rest of 2015. So the first thing we're going to change is our language. The second thing we're going to change is our focus. We're going to change our focus. So we're going to stop looking at all the people on our team that don't have an active replenishment. We're going to stop focusing on all the people on our team that didn't make it to the big event, or wasn't at this last event, or didn't get on this call. We're not going to focus on that. We're not going to focus on the money that we don't have at the moment. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to be aware, but we're not going to focus on it. We are going to change our sight and focus on what is good for us. Now, I don't know if you guys watch me on my Tiffaney Malott Facebook page. You should. So it's not my Tiffany Beverly Malott page, it's my Tiffaney Malott page. And I've been posting videos there. And one of the things I talked about recently was optimistic realism. And a lot of times people who focus on the negative, they make themselves feel good about it, or they justify their actions by saying they're being realistic. I'm just being realistic. Nobody on my team is working. But see, that's not true, because if you're working, that's nobody. That's not nobody. If you have 3 people on your team, no matter what their rank is, then that's not nobody. And that's what a lot of people do. They're like, well, we just don't have any momentum. But momentum comes in phases. Maybe it's not the momentum you want, where you've got the 6-figure ring or the 7-figure ring, but you do have some momentum. Even if it's barely moving, you can increase that momentum and do things to grow it. And so you've got to focus. You got to change your focus. And so what I want everyone to understand is you've got to be aware of what's not happening, but don't focus on it. So you can't look at the bad all the time. You got to look and say, okay, whoo, that's ugly. And then you've got to focus on where it's going. Focus on the negativity. That's what you're always going to get. And this is a recent breakthrough that I've had for myself personally. Because I look, 15 years ago, I was negative and pessimistic. I was like, the glass is half empty and there is a hole in the bottom. And so that's just me naturally. My environment growing up, I always see the not so good or the bad. Now, the reason why is it was a defense mechanism for me that I understand. Now, it was a defense mechanism for me. I felt like if I didn't get my hopes up, I would never be disappointed. So if I never believed that I was going to hit the rank or have a great income, if I said, oh, it probably won't happen, that's not going to happen. Inside, though, deep down, I was like, yeah, I hope it happens. But I would always speak that it wouldn't happen, so I wouldn't be disappointed when it didn't. And so that was my defense mechanism. And that's how I lived my life up until 15 years ago. That's exactly what I did. I always prepared for the worst because it was probably going to happen. And then I got into this incredible profession and I learned that what you expect is what you get. You don't get what you want, you get what you expect. So when I was expecting to never get it, that's why I got it. So I've changed that, right? Now I expect greatness. I expect Crown Royale. I expect one day to have an 8-figure annual income. I expect to be able to help people on this webcast, people in this company, and people even beyond to reach their dreams, their 6-figure incomes, 7-figure incomes, to travel the world, to have a real retirement, to understand what wealth truly is, that it's not just money, but it's just peace of mind and spirit. That's what I expect. That's what I expect. And that's why I'm getting closer to it. And that's why I'm getting more of that in my life. But I didn't used to do that. But then recently, I didn't realize that I still had this little thing going on in me, this little lingering negativity, critical thing that I thought I was making sure everything was really good. Uh, and it's still a little tricky for me. Maybe I'm sharing with y'all maybe too much, but let me just share with you. I actually look at things and I don't I see the good and the bad. I'm not one of those people that just like, will tell, how some people, you'll have something in your teeth and you have a smile, you're smiling at them and you have green in your teeth. And people have done this to me recently. I love to eat kale, right? But kale always is in my teeth. So I literally had a salad with a friend and had kale all in my teeth, like here, here, and here. Those are the ones that always gets me. These two sides are right here. And we just talked and laughed. They let me walk out. They let me walk around with kale in my teeth. Now, some people say, well, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I didn't want you to feel bad. But I felt worse with kale in my teeth, walking around, smiling at everyone, and no one said anything. So the reason why I'm saying this is because the way I think is I see the good and the bad. You have a beautiful smile, but you got kale in your teeth. And so I'm tempering that. But now where I used to just focus on the kale or focus on this person not telling me I had kale in my teeth and get so bent out of shape about it, I am now learning to change my state. And so my focus is not why did they let me walk around like that? My focus is now, look, I have a beautiful smile. So I'm going to check it myself since I can't depend on other people to tell me I have kale in my teeth. So I am working on changing my own focus instead of focusing on the bad in a situation, because there's bad in some situations. I'm aware of it, and then I come up with my own solution so I can stay in this permanent state of joy and bliss. So that is basically why I'm sharing this with you guys, is because I understand this is so very important, because when you always focus on what's wrong, then that's what you're always going to get back. Even if you get some good, you'll sabotage it and you'll make it bad again, because that's how you trained yourself. That's all you focus on. So we're going to change our state right now for those of you who are not feeling all great. So you got to first change your language. We're going on a negativity fast. You can only speak victory in life in your situation. The next thing is you're going to change your focus. So you're going to be aware that you don't have a lot of people working on your team. You're going to be aware if your income has gone down. You're going to be aware that you're not at the rank you want yet. You're going to be aware that you didn't have enough people at the big event. That's not bad. That just is. It's part of business. We all go through it. So you're going to be aware, but you're not going to focus on that. You're just going to be aware. Now what you're going to do is you're going to focus on how to fix it. You're going to focus on how to change it. You're going to focus on making it happen. And usually when you change your focus, the first thing that has to change is you. So if you're not happy with your business right now, that's why we're going to change our state, because we've got to change us. You're going to change your language, and you're going to speak life and victory and success into your business from now until the end of the year. You're going to change your focus. You're not going to focus on what's not happening. You know it. We got to change it. You're going to focus on what is happening to make that turn into even more. And then the final thing we're going to change is our physiology. Now, this is brilliant, okay? Your physiology has so much to do with your state. And basically, and a lot of people don't even realize it. So they're sitting there and they like they'll call their upline or their mentor or leadership or whatever, and they want to talk about how to improve their business. But this is how their body language is. So these people aren't working, and I don't know what to do, and their physiology is down and negative and horrible. Instead of having a positive physiology, meaning up and excited about the potential and what is to come, they are negative. They're looking down, their voice is down, their lips are turned up. I do that a lot. And they just are in a negative physical state. And the thing about communication is nonverbal communication is more powerful than verbal communication. In fact, because I've been, most of my vast majority of my team is like always away from me. I have to do a lot of time on the phone and a lot of coaching sessions on the phone and maybe on using technology. And I see a lot of people that are talking about their business, and I can hear their physiology. I can hear their lips are all twisted up. I can hear that they're hunched over. I can hear that they're all postured up and defensive. I can hear it more than I can hear their words. And so we've got to change our physiology. And so what I suggest right now, if you're listening or you're watching, let's do this together. Now, if you were at Unleashing the Power Within event, I would be like, stand up and we jump up and down and be like, whoop, 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 like this. Okay. So I do suggest that. And so for me, I thought it was like, oh, I don't need any rah, rah, pump it up. But you know what that does? See, I like the science behind things. When you jump up and down like that, when you do that, it actually releases endorphins that go up in your brain, and like synapses start firing off. And it literally takes your entire physiology up. Your endorphins, your synapses start firing. Everything in your body goes up when you start doing that. So when he gave me that explanation for why he had me jumping up and down in 4-inch heels, okay, like a fool for hours and hours, I was like, I can do this. And the truth is, it does change your state. But let's just say you're sitting down and you can't just bust out. You're sitting at work and you're feeling bad, or you've gotten some bad news, or you're sitting there with some crazy prospect or an agent that's just, or you're driving and you need to change your physiology. Then let's just figure out a way that we can just change our physiology no matter what. Now, if you're standing up, jump up and down. But let's just say right now, what I would do is first thing I would do is change my posture. Hunched over says defeat. So you're going to sit up straight. You're going to throw your shoulders back. You know what I mean? Ladies, we're just going to put them up a little bit like this. Guys, some of y'all have some too. So anyway, y'all know what I mean. That was horrible. But we're going to just go like this, put our shoulders back. We're going to put our heads up. We're going to look to the sky. We're going to look to the side. We're going to change our focus. Our focus has been down. We're going to put our focus up. We're going to change our physiology. You know what I love to do? I love to just put my hands on my hips. That's a Black woman thing. I just love to be like, okay, so this is how I'll do it, like sitting down or even standing up. When I feel like I'm about to start going down because somebody's acting a fool, or because things didn't happen the way I want, or I can look at things in my organization and be like, what? I'm going to change my state. I'll be like, that's my move. You got to come up with your own move. I'll be like, oh, no, this is not controlling me. And then I put my hand on my hip like the superwoman that I am, and I do my own superwoman stance. You got to figure out what yours is. What is yours? Maybe yours is, I don't know what it is, but you got to do something to change it and snap yourself out of this. And the reason why I'm saying this is for those of you, and because I know this happens to all of us, and you've got to take some control of it. You've got to change your language and speak victory immediately as soon as those forces against you are trying to topple you. You've got to change your focus. You got to look up. You got to look forward instead of looking down and feeling sorry for yourself. And you have got to make sure that you change your physiology, whether you jump up and down, whether you tell them, excuse me, the individual forces that's trying to stop this whole thing, you just need to step off like right now, do whatever you need to do, change your language, your focus, and your physiology, and take control of your situation. Now, you may be saying, well, Tiffany, that's all well and good, but I still don't have any money, or I still don't have a great team. But no, you have changed your state to a more attractive state where now, once you get into phase 1, you are going to be able to attract those things and make things happen the way you want. And I'm going to tell you the truth. When you step away from sadness, anger, frustration, guilt, or just negativity, when you intentionally step away from that, everything changes. And I learned this years ago. I had a mentor who said, you know what, if you change you will be surprised how much better everybody else gets around you. If you get better, Tiffany, you'd be surprised how much better everyone else gets around you. And it's the truth. It's the truth. I just had it at a different level from a much wealthier, more successful mentor, but the basics are still the same. And so this is what I'm trying to share with you guys right now. you've got to change your state. Now, if you are in a momentum state and you are having success and you are excited, you've got to share that with other people. You've got to tell their stories. You've got to recognize them, not just on Facebook. It's not just a post. That's great. But you got to call them up. You got to put them and let them have a story on their call. You gotta pump them up when you see them. You gotta hug them. You gotta congratulate them. Remember, that's one of our 10 core values, is to victory, to create an environment of victory and celebration. And so if you're in momentum, you've got to share that with other people. If you have a pocket in your organization that's exploding and you have a pocket in your organization that's struggling, that's called life. That's what happens. You've got to take that momentum and you've got to put it on you. You got to change your state and help them change their state. And I don't care if you've got to celebrate just getting a VIP, you high five, you post, you jump up and down about a VIP. And you pump people up about where they are and what they are doing and watch them do more, because people love victory and celebration. They love recognition. In fact, they say babies cry for it, men die for it. And you don't wait for someone to just blow up and go platinum or get the ring or bring 1,000 people. You actually create that type of success. You actually create and hone that momentum by recognizing the little things, because it's the little things that will lead to the big things. Now, I'm saying all of this to say, no matter what group you're in, you've got secret super momentum right now, and you got to spread it all over to your organization. All right. Every parts of your organization should feel that excitement, not just one pocket. And you say, look what they're doing. Oh, look what they're doing. No, you just say, hey, this is what they're doing. Let's do it over here. All right. And if you feel like you're not in that place, then we change our state. Change our state and speak some victory into your situation. Change your language, change your focus, and change your physiology, and start doing phase one activity. Now, here's the thing. People who have been in for a while, everybody wants something new and something fancy. But the truth of the matter is, we still do the same things in secret. We just should be better at it. So if you're in a place that you're not excited, you're in a place that you think it's not happening, you've got to change. I already told you how to do that. And you've got to go back to phase one. And guess what we still do in this business? Put mud on people. It's not going to change. You're either going to put mud on people in person, or you're going to put mud on people long distance through technology. You are going to stop looking around at the things that have been bothering you. Right now, if I told you, write down 3 things that's been bothering you in your organization this year. Some of you already know it. You have 5 things. So you worried about somebody on your team quit. Stop worrying about it. It's over. They're gone. God bless them. Move on, because they just made way for somebody else to come in. All right. And you're worried about the fact that you can't recruit, then stop speaking that. Go recruit some people. Go put mud on people to get some recruits. Maybe you're sick of your upline. Okay, look, if they still bothering you, then they aren't going away. And if they aren't going to change, guess who has to change? You do. So you have got to change you. And I've already told you how you can change your state. Stop focusing, change your focus. Stop focusing on them not being any good, or them not meshing with you, or them not being what you need. In fact, stop worrying about what they aren't and become the very thing you need. You must become the change you want to see. So if we aren't leading the way you want us to, step up. It's time for you to become the leader that you feel we can't be. And I'm saying that in all respect. I'm telling you the truth. I know, because I complained in my first 3 years about other people until someone finally said, well, then why don't you do it? If you have all the answers, if you can do it better, if you're a better presenter, if you think training should be done this way, then why don't you do it? And then you know what I finally said? Okay, why don't I? And that's what I've been doing for the past 12 years. That's what I'm telling you. So you got to change you, and you got to go back out there, and you got to get to work. Look, harvest will come in harvest, but seeds still have to be planted. Just because people are harvesting doesn't mean they can't be sowing, and they should be sowing. And whether your business is up or down or just staying like this, you got to get to work. You got to get to work. And let me just tell you something. People still love secret. I've been in Australia and people love secret. I come back to the States and people love secret. People love the idea of it. People are intrigued by it. It's us that has to change so we can share it with them. And here's the other part. You don't know who's waiting. You don't know who's waiting to change your life. I think back 15 and a half years ago, and I was on a job I didn't like. I was sad because I lost my dad the year before. I had a degree that I thought was going to be useless. I just wasn't in a good state. I wasn't in a good state, but because a network marketing professional was in the right state in phase one, being attractive, he actually shared his business with me, and it has changed my life forever. And so here's the other thing. One thing you got to stop focusing on is feeling sorry for you. You got to stop thinking, oh, well, what about me and my money and mine this? I love to listen to Joel Osteen. I'm not saying you have to, but he is good. But one thing he put in his book, and I've heard him say several times, is when he and his wife wanted a new house, they didn't focus and keep praying for a new house, and keep focusing on them needing a new house. In fact, they said, Lord, we want a new house. This is what we want. Thank you. We know you'll give it to us. And then they changed their focus. And you know what their focus became? Helping someone else get their house, helping someone else be able to pay for their house. So they actually were aware. They stated this is what they want. And then they completely changed their focus, not to them, but on what someone else did. And that's what someone else wanted. And that's what I suggest you do right now. No matter what your situation is, no matter where you are, you know what you want. You put your goals out there. You've said your affirmations. You are aware of the situation. Now it's time to go focus on being there for someone else. And that's what someone else did for me 15 years ago. And that's what we're supposed to be doing for someone else. We are not in this to find the person who already has a database of 1 million people. If we find them, great. But you know what we're here for? We're here for the ordinary person. We're here for the jelly maker. We're here for the jelly maker that thought she was going to be on third shift, trapped in a factory for the rest of her life. We're here for the janitor who thought that he had hit his ceiling. We are here for the machine shop worker. We are here for the stay-at-home mom. We are here for the pastor, the teacher, the real estate agent, the corporate American executive. We are here for people who are looking for a way to change their lives, but no one else has shown it to them. And that's why we have to change our state. That's why we have to keep sowing. That's why we have to stay in phase one. And that's why we have to work harder than we ever have before, because we've been given a gift. And that gift wasn't just to change our lives. We were blessed with this gift to be a blessing and change and use it to change someone else's. So no matter where you are right now, what group, super great momentum or feeling a little in the dumps, change your language, change your focus, and change your physiology. Let's change our state. Let's go help some other people, and let's get back to work. So I hope this helps. If you like my videos, go to Tiffaney Malott. If you want, I think you should live stream the GoPro event. It's going to be some great information, and that's a great way to change your state, is to just experience other people's stories, so you know that you're not the only one who's been down and had to fight your way back up. But also, just remember where we are. We are in the greatest opportunity in America and in the world, actually, in the world. And, there are a lot of people who have said, well, this company has this together, and this company has this, and this company has this. And you know what? As I have gotten out into the world and then this whole profession of network marketing, people are still watching us. People are still patting us on the back. People are still saying, you guys are doing great. We just have to realize that we are great, and we have to work even harder to make sure more people know that is true. So I hope this helped you guys. Make sure you stay tuned to next Tuesday. We can't wait to hear your stories. I know there's great stuff coming. You want to have distribution points. You want to have more agents working. Call the old, get some new, because the holidays are coming up. The end of the year is coming up, and your life, you still have time to change your life in 2015. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you very, very soon.